am the chair of the ADA Committee. This meeting is now called to order. Welcome to August 15, 2004, HART ADA Committee meeting. This meeting form is habit form and within HART Administration Office, 1201 East 7th Avenue, Florida, Capital, and the rest of the board members are within the community devices, technology devices. As a reminder, please raise your hand so you can be recognized throughout the meeting. Then they have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. First, roll call. The first action will be for the committee is to introduce themselves for the committee and the committee. Please state your name and position you are in with. I'll go first. My name is Arizona Jenkins. I'm the chair of the ADA committee. Go ahead, man.
Sean McCarthy, HART Chief Operating Officer.
Raquel Pancho, ADA Coordinator with the City of Tampa.
Jada Clark, Interim ADA Coordinator with Hillsborough County.
Diane Luce, Orientation and Mobility Specialist with Lighthouse for the Blind and Low Vision.
Danielle Jackson, HART Board Administrator.
Angela Pay, HART Deputy Attorney.
Marion Gustala, National Federation of Blind Actors Service Department.
Good
David
afternoon.
Grooms.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Catherine Sanchez, Manager of Customer Service, HART.
And the people on the media.
Rosa Velasquez, Hillsborough County Sunshine Line.
Anyone else?
Okay.
That's it? Okay. Next, public comment. We have 3 minutes. Anybody want to speak? Come up to the board.
I'll just, excuse me, Chair, if I may just embark on a reminder, is that this section of the meeting is dedicated to the public to provide comments. We ask that the committee members hold all discussions on public comment until the roundtable discussion or new or old business of the agenda. As the chairman indicated, each speaker has 3 minutes to speak, which will be monitored by staff. Staff, please proceed.
And Chair, we did have somebody pre-registered. We actually had 3 people pre-registered. The first one is Ms. Viverito, and I believe she is online.
Okay.
You may go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, this is Benita Viverito, and my question or concern is about a boundary that was taken away from me being able to use by HART Plus because of, I guess, boundaries were changed when they got rid of the Flex in Brandon. And the address that I visit a lot, or I did at the time, was my parents' address, which is 609 Marfield Loop. And I was wanting to find out if there's any way I can be reconsidered and that address being accepted for one of my drop-off points, because that's actually my parents' address. And with me not having a way to get to there without HART Plus's assistance because of it, that one as being a boundary that was taken away, even though the vans go past my parents' street all the time, I was told that that was considered out of the boundary. And I was wondering what I understand that it was because they got rid of the flex, but I wanted to know if they can be considered that as being a drop-off point for myself. Because otherwise, if I don't have my own way to get there, I'm basically not allowed to go see my parents. So I would like for that to be considered because I know Heart Plus goes past my parents' street off of Kings Avenue daily, and there is a flex bus that goes out there all day long. Not a flex, but a limited express. And I was told because the flex was taken out of that area, my parents are considered to be out of boundary. And my dad actually was a Heart Plus patron also.
Does that conclude your comment, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else?
The next person that was pre-registered was Miss Carla Thomas. I'm not sure if she's here. Okay. The third person was Miss Lisa Bunn. And following that was Jimmy Marshall.
All right, all right, good afternoon. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Because I can hear me. All right, here's my issue. As you know, I'm on this stroller. I live in East Tampa, and I normally frequent the 34 sometimes, the 1, the 12. And those routes are coming along, fairly frequently, so there's no issue there. The issue is when I'm geared to get on the bus, the driver sometimes says that I have to ask this person if they will give up this seat so that you can get in with your with your stroller. Now, this has caused me numerous problems, okay? Number one, because I'm missing appointments, because this person doesn't want to move from a previously designated spot for disabled individuals. So is this at the driver's discretion that they can ask this of the patron that's sitting there? Can they do this legally, or because I don't know, because it's a problem and I don't know, I don't know what to do about this. If they tell me, well, I have to ask this person, if they don't want to move, then you leave me? Is that fair? Is that right? Is what's supposed to be done? Because it has caused me some issues, okay? And this is my first time coming to an ADA meeting, so I don't know all the ins and outs. This is the thing that I've been wanting to speak with someone about for 2 months, and now I have my opportunity. So I would like for someone can get back to me or give me an answer or address this to let me know, am I in the wrong? Or are they not following policy and procedure? I don't really have anything else at the moment. I'm sure something else may come up, unfortunately, but I'm done.
Thank you.
And the final person signed up is Louise Payton.
Ms.
your left.
I don't want to run over. I was helping the other gentleman, sorry. And I'm putting the microphone right in front of you. It's right here. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I just wanted to make some comments about Yellow Cab, both positive and not so positive. The positive is that they are sending people out more, and if they don't send somebody out to South Tampa because they don't have a driver, they send an Uber. Well, for me, an Uber is fine, but for somebody with a service animal who uses the service animal, a lot of these drivers don't like that. And I keep hearing stories about objections to service animals with Uber and Lyft as well. So the other issue with Yellow Cab is if you call early in the morning, I discovered you're able to get in. The later you call in the day, you sit on the phone and wait and wait and wait. Over 10 minutes. I just have hung up in disgust. Also, on Saturdays and Sundays, they don't have enough staff, which I don't know if HART can do anything to assist Yellow Cab with that issue or not. But like I say, there are positives as well as negatives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me help you out one moment.
That was all that we had signed up, Chair. I'm not sure if there's anybody else in the audience.
Okay, thank you. Then, thank you all for responding. The two of it. The 2 minutes over the again. And then any comment?
Any comments or corrections on the minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes? I made a motion.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Next, the presentation. The presentation is fiscal year 2025 for the operation budget and capital plan, Ms. Money.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Melanie Williams. I'm the Director of Budgets and Grants here at HART. And today I will present to you the fiscal year 2025 proposed operating and capital budget. So the agenda for today's presentation is proposed operating budget, the proposed service, the 5-year capital plan summary, and the FY25 capital budget summary and detail. The next 2 slides that I will show you summarizes the operating budget. This first slide shows the FY25 proposed budget is $117,305,565. The Avalon tax revenue for FY25 is budgeted at $77.7 million. Transfer to capital is $4.1 million. We have federal operating grants at $20.7 million. State operating grants $7.7 million. The fair revenues at $11.2 million. We have local contributions at $1.3 million. Advertising income, $1.5 million. Other income, $499,342. We have the Tampa Historic Streetcar at $3.1 million. Interest income, $2.3 million. Transfer to capital, and that's for capital projects at $4.8 million, giving us the operating revenues budgeted for FY25 at $565,565. And we always have a balanced budget. The total operating expenses is $117,305,565. Going through the operating categories, we have salaries and wages at $57.4 million, fringe benefits at $12.7 million, healthcare at $13.7 million, operation contract services at $10 million, parts and supplies at $6.2 million, insurance at $3.3 million, the fuel and oil at $5.1 million, administrative other at $3.9 million, administrative contracts at $2 million. We have legal services, $500,000, utilities, $1.2 million, marketing and printing at $477,843, and then we have taxes and fees at $354,183, given the operating expenses budgeted for FY25 at $117,305,565. Okay, so this is the proposed service for FY25. A presentation will be given in detail after my presentation by our senior planner here at HART. So I'll just go over quickly the total for all three modes: revenue miles at 9 million miles, revenue hours at 721,227, and the ridership is 14.3 for ridership. This is the proposed 5-year capital plan, and this totals $301,531,125. The first year of the 5-year capital plan is the FY 2025 budget. The plan is summarized by the project categories. The first category is vehicle and maintenance at $111,573,542. Then we have facilities and construction at $147,982,991. We have technologies at $12,738,597. Bus stops and shelters at $25,945,086. Planning and studies at $1,050,000. Safety and security is $2,240,909, leaving that 5-year capital plan at $301,531,125. Just go there. Okay. All right. So as stated, the first year of the 5-year capital plan is the FY capital budget. And that total budget is $71,046,221. And here, this slide shows the revenue sources to fund those capital projects and making a balanced budget of $71,046,221. And this is the capital project in detail for each of the categories for FY25. Vehicles and maintenance is $25.3 million. And the major project in this category is the CNG buses at $13.1 million. We have some paratransit replacement vans at $3.6 million, and then the radio system at $6 million. Next category for FY25 is the facilities and construction at $24.1. And the major category in this, the major project in this category is the heavy maintenance building at $19.8. The next category is technology at $12.1 for FY25. And the major project in this category is the CAD AVL at $10.1 million. Next, we have some bus stops and shelters at $8.3 million. We have planning and studies at $450,000. And then we have safety and security at $601,205. And that is the FY25 capital budget at $71,046,221. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you for your presentation. Is there any comment?
Yes. Hi.
Nothing, thank you.
Can you help me understand where the budget allotment is for the audible announcements on the buses through the years? I've heard of community members' concerns about the audible announcements not being readily available at times. And I'm not sure if it was due to technology or if there were route changes that were causing some of those difficulties, but.
I'm not sure where it's in technology, where it's budgeted, but I will find out if it is included in the capital plan for you.
Just want to make sure that that is always maintained as well. Thank you.
Is there any more questions?
Oh, yes. And then, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I see it on page,
Hi,
the
excuse
previous
me.
page. It says audiovisual technology.
Hi, good afternoon, Jesus Peraza-Garcia, HART staff. To help out with that question, the audible announcement, those are part of the CAD AVL technology, which is the tracking system for the buses. And we are in the process of replacing that system that's like 20 years old. So we're doing the best we can with what we have right now. So that sometimes they fall, like they don't work. So that should be coming online soon, like in the next 2 years or so. So that's, and I think, I don't know if CAD AVL was in the budget.
Yes, so in technologies, the CAD AVL is part of the $10.1 million.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Any, who is it? No more questions? All right, thank you. Next, yeah, thank you, ma'am. Next is Mr. Francisco Gonzalez for his presentation.
Good afternoon again, committee members. Jesus Peraza-Garcia, HART staff. I'm going to present the fiscal year 25 budgeted service levels. So for some context, this is the pre-COVID system map. You'll see the routes, they are broken down by frequency. The higher the frequency, the more convenient the service is considered. So we have the green lines that are every 15 minutes, the teal is every 20, the blue is 30, and the purple is 60. As you see in the system, there is 4 green, so 4 routes every 15 minutes, 1 every 20, many blue lines, so many every 30 minutes, and only a handful of 60-minute routes. Here you have a side-by-side comparison of pre-COVID and current. So you see pre-COVID levels, we had 132 buses out on the street at maximum service. Right now we have 101. Back in pre-COVID, we had 4 routes every 15. Currently, they're every 20, except for Route 1, that's every 15 during rush hour. Route 12, that used to be every 20, now is every 30. And there are 8 other routes that used to be every 30 that currently are every 60, which puts us at 75% of pre-COVID levels in terms of service hours. This is what the current system looks like. You'll see that there are many more purple routes, so many more routes every 60 minutes. There's only a handful of routes every 30 minutes. There are 3 routes every 20 and only 1 that's every 15. So kind of to illustrate that drop in service from pre-COVID, 75% of pre-COVID. The next slide shows a middle ground, if you will, an incremental step. We're budgeting to implement this by the end of the next fiscal year. You'll see there is 1 more teal line, so the Route 12 would come back to every 20 minutes. 2 more blue lines, so the Route 7 and 9 would go up from every hour to every 30 minutes. And of course, this is all pending other resources that need to line up for this to happen. We need to have the right amount of buses and the right amount of bus operators to make this happen. But in terms of service hours, we're budgeting for this so that we're ready for it. So the before and after would look like you see here if we implement those changes. So Route 12 would go off the wish list because the wish would become true. It would be back to every 20 minutes. And then 2 of the hourly routes that would go back to every 30 minutes. So this is what it would look like. And we would be up to 79% of pre-COVID levels when we implement this. Lastly, you saw this slide on Melanie's presentation. This is the budgeted service levels for fiscal year 25. You'll notice on the fixed route services, you'll notice there is a 7% increase in ridership that's expected based on historical trends. To accommodate that growth in ridership and this growth in service that I just explained, we are increasing revenue hours a little bit in the budget. Similarly, for paratransit, we are expecting a 10% growth in ridership, even higher than fixed route. And to accommodate this, we're growing revenue hours a little bit. So this modest growth in revenue hours is just to account for there is, of course, increased traffic, so heavier traffic, and there would be higher ridership. So that's what this growth is to provide the same level of service. And lastly, for the streetcar, we are not expecting any growth in service because that's a very robust and stable service. And that concludes my presentation. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Is there any questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Marion.
You said the 2 routes that are going from 60 minutes to 30 were?
The 7 and the 9.
7 and 9? Oh, that wasn't it. When was the last time the Route 8 was studied? Because that frequently has sometimes standing room only.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID. It was every 30 minutes. And it's on the wish list, too.
It's on mine, too.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. My question is the 132 to the 101 a number of buses. And in order for us to get back to pre-COVID rise, and I think I know the answer, but what is it? Is it we don't have enough buses, we don't have enough personnel, we don't have enough money? How do we get back to pre-COVID? What stops us from being there?
All of the above.
Okay. Thank you.
So just Mr. Chair, if I could just add, Director Williams, this Saturday, we are holding a recruitment event at HART for new operators. So we're hoping, we've been having, like a lot of places, struggling to get employees. for a whole host of different reasons. But we're hopeful that this one will generate a good amount of people where we can not only fill this class of trainees, but hopefully some classes down the line. We've been struggling to get more than 15 or 20 by the time training is over, and, it's probably 12, and we're attriting, at 5, 6 a month normally. So we're take one step forward, take 2 steps back, so to speak. So we're trying to be a lot more aggressive in terms of our hiring plan than we have been historically. But as Jesus said, that's only a third of the issue. We also need more vehicles, and obviously more funding.
Thank you. I think I'll take a copy of the job description for me to give it out to folks.
Sure.
We're looking at to have some stability in the jobs. Thank you.
All right, is there any more? Yeah, man.
This is Diane Luce. So I see that the capital plan for the next 5 years has expansion and improvements in fixed route. Maybe this was in the financials somewhere, but are there any plans to expand paratransit services, either in the hours that it's provided or the service area beyond the 1.5 miles? Is there any plan within the next 5 years to expand those services?
No, not currently. So the service hours are subject to the bus,
I understand that.
and the service area, no, there are no short-term plans.
I understand that federally that the law requires, a certain minimum, but that communities have the opportunity to do more than that. Coming from Orange County, Florida, they do. They provide services throughout the whole Tri-County area and 24 hours a day. I don't know all the details of how funding is different or such, but I know what's possible. And so I would just hope that we could eventually aspire to that.
Yeah. I think that was part of the impetus behind going away from 3/4 mile and to 1.5 miles, because the minimum federal requirement is 3/4 mile. So I guess that was a step in that direction.
It is, and I do, like, when I'm working with my clients, I make a point to inform them about what the minimum requirement is by federal law and how HART does go beyond with the 1.5 miles. And also, the minimum is required curb-to-curb service where HART provides door-to-door. That's also, beyond what's required. And so those things are very much appreciated, but, we can always do better.
Yeah, thank you.
Isn't it true that, though, that the 1.5 miles isn't that the furthest it can go away from a bus stop? Because then it's really not a complimentary service. It becomes a better service than the fixed route. Isn't that?
That's a good question. I know some places do countywide, so I don't know to what extent there are limitations on the maximum. Oh, I have Kemley to help.
No, they're probably under some other structure other than complimentary transportation paratransit. It's probably more like a transportation disadvantage program that operates outside of that.
Hi, Chair, committee members. Kemley Green, Manager of Communications and Marketing. And as you know, I used to be part of the committee. If I'm understanding your question correctly, Mr. Guizdala, the requirement is 3/4 mile. We did expand it a few years ago, and I'll take it upon myself to honestly say that we are struggling with the expansion that we did. We do have, financial struggles, and I would personally say it would be a little bit difficult to expand, but that's why we have a great partnership with Sunshine Line, who is in the committee and during the meeting right now. We work very closely with Rosa and all of her team, so any area that is not covered by HART Plus is covered by the county Sunshine Line. And even in the days where when we expand or have to, do bus changes, We work very closely with them hand in hand to even share the applications, make it, give the customers a little bit of help on extended days so they can do the transition over. So we've been pretty successful. We've had some customers that sometimes prefer one service over the other, but even like the customer that mentioned earlier being outside of the service area, we will be more than happy to reach out to her and help her, put her in contact with Sunshine Line. There are customers that use both services depending on where they are.
So, then to be clear, if you on Hot Plus and you need to go out of the area, you can call Sunshine.
To go outside of the area? Sunshine Line would help if you're going outside of the service area.
So that means you would have to apply for both services.
You might have to be in both services, and also keep in mind, I can't speak on their behalf, they have a little bit different requirements where we're paratransit, and they do have, different criteria of the hours, the days of operation, and also the types of trips they do. So that is good to point out. That's a good point. Yes, you would have to apply for both services.
Correct. That's correct. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes, they would have to apply.
Yes.
We want to make sure that when we get it, when we say that they understand what's going on.
Mhm.
So that's why I had that question.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
And the final option to get outside of that area is using the yellow cab service too, because they're not restricted by the 1.5 miles. So they can take someone outside of that radius.
Any more questions? Comment?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Button. All right, we're going down to my report, the chair's report. All right, but before I do that, I want to say a couple things that I heard in the public comment. The guy in the yellow shirt there, they was talking about the bus. I was not making them get up out of the seats. I'm gonna use my colleagues over here for make sure I'm doing it right. So I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I used to ride the bus a long time. And this is not only for HART, this is for the airline, whatever public transportation that you want to use. Because I used to fly as well. And if the person does not want to get up from their seat, the driver cannot make them get up. You will have to wait on another bus. Or what I recommend, if you know you got to be somewhere sometime, try to catch the earlier bus so you won't be late. Or either apply for HART Plus. But we cannot make people get up. That's the way it is. You can't make them get up. So it is not hotline fault. But the driver is supposed to ask, can you get up or will you get up? But if they say no, then that's all they can do. And for Louise over there with yellow cap, that is also not their fault as well. If they're gonna be calling, there's a lot of call takers that's taking calls all day, all night, and it goes in the order that they receive. I believe it goes in the order that the call comes in. So that's where hotline, that's where yellow cabs. I've been waiting on the phone for 45 minutes. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they pick up the calls as quickly as they can. Now, for my report, again, I have a couple questions and comments. These vans that we're putting on the roads every day, these vans are regular, I mean, I hate to say it, but these vans are not being maintenance as good as they should be, because we have people on the van, including myself. If the driver has just left the office to pick up the van, and he's on the way to pick up his first client of the day, and he picked the client up, and on the way to get dropped off, the van shuts off. The van shuts off, and the breakdown, there's no power, there's nothing. I mean, the driver had to call in and wait on the truck, but the van just left the base. So why is the van breaking down on the first trip? Because I was the one that they picked up on the first trip of the day. So thank God it wasn't too far. But when he broke down in a very bad area, because the car flying and everything. So he had to crank me down, put me on the sidewalk, had to wait on the truck. The truck did not come until almost my pickup time, which is 3 or 4 hours later. So that can't be going on. And then around on the van, you got the AC leaking, you got the radio not working. They can't find out one. They can't look at the computer and tell when their next pickup is, where their pickup is. They got to call the base, ask them where's my next pickup. I mean, we need to get rid of all these old vans and get some new technologies. We just did the budgets, talking about we got to spend this amount of money, but we need to spend this kind of money on new, up-to-date vans. People they can trust, they're gonna get where they need to go safely and sound. Now, I use HART, I use Yellow Can, I also use wheelchair transports, which is another program that take you from county to county. Now, that van is always clean, always the running good, no problem with the AC. They have up-to-date technology, and they tell you where to go, GPS, they have all that. That's what we need to have here at HART, so we can help these drivers do what they need to do. Because if the driver's not being able to do what they need to do, then they're going to get an attitude, and the client is going to notice that the driver has attitudes, and then the client is going to get an attitude, and then there you go. There's a problem. They can be solved with up-to-date technology. The AZ leaking, there's no power on the vans. I mean, you can't call in generator. One night, the generator at the office shut down. That means the whole system shut down, the buses and the vans. So I'm waiting on my ride to go home, and I'm looking at it's over an hour waiting for me to go home. The driver comes to tell me that the whole system shut down. So he had to go all the way back to the base to find out where I was. You know how much time and energy and gas that you're wasting on stuff that we can fix now. We need to help these drivers do their job. They're doing the best they can. I mean, we all have good drivers, we all have bad drivers, but the good drivers need to be able to do their job the way they want to do it. And we have to help them help us. And at this committee, the chair committee, I'm telling you that these maintenance people are not doing their job. So, whoever is in charge of that, they need to come and get these vans, because we can pick people up. They're putting these people's life in danger. And then we already have a disability. We don't need to have more on top of that. Okay? So we need to have that. And then I want to know why in the evening we have standby people sitting in the office not doing nothing. The ODC, whatever you want to call it, send the drivers home at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And we still have people out there who need to get picked up. And they are all over the place. So you put in one driver out there to pick up all the people, and then all the people are going home. The standby are going home. We need to keep some standbys to the end of the night. We don't send them home until everybody gets home. That's not fair for one driver to go around picking up all these people when you have 3 or 4 people in standby, but you send them home. For what? Back in the days, he's long gone. He's long gone now, but he was a good operator. He was a good in the office. He would send every driver that's on standby out in a van. If they don't have but one pickup, go pick it up. Don't stand around the office getting paid, playing around in the room, playing games, talking on the phone. You get to work. Put them out there to work. Because if the driver is gonna get burned out, and then who's gonna have to pick up people? We don't want to burn them out. So put them out there. I don't care if we have 1 standby, 2 standby, find them something to do. So we can help the drivers. If one on one side, send the other one on the other side. Don't have the one that going like a ping pong. We have to use common sense for the gas and the maintenance and whatever. That's why these vans are breaking down, because they got to keep going back and forth all day long. And when you get ready to order new vans, order the up-to-date vans, order the same vans. You need to get on the wheelchair transport, the minivans, they have the tie downs that come all the way up to the sidewalk. And you put it on the chin, and then before they get in the van. That's why the driver don't have to bend down all day, because the lock is already on before they get in on the minivan. That's a good idea for you, Vanny, for a yellow cab too. Because the yellow cab vans are so small that you go in on, you only can get one with you, and the widget goes in the back. So you can put the locks on before they go in. The driver don't have to bend down trying to pack with the seats and all that. Because on the hotline van, we're still using the old van that the seat does not go up. We're using the van that the seat doesn't move. So the driver has to squeeze between the wheelchair and the seats to get to the wall, by the wall unit, and to get the lockdown. So you're breaking down their bodies. And I'm just looking out for the drivers. The more we look out for the drivers, the more they look out for us. See? And then my last thing is, when you are on the road and you are putting old vehicles and old units that need to be retired. And we know it need to be retired because we've been on them for many, many years. It doesn't make any sense. So we need to help that always. And is there the cameras on the outside of the van? My question, does the camera shows when the lift coming down? Because the reason I'm asking is because when I go, there's a parking lot. Cars are in the parking box and the lift goes out. I wonder, can the driver see on the camera where the lift goes out? So they don't have to get back in the van and move it up, get back in the van and move it down. To make sure that the lift is completely clear of somebody's car. We don't want to pay for nobody's car. So that's not good. Thank you. Thank you. That's my point. Is there any other vote or comment?
Chair Jenkins, I wanted to just comment on some of the things that you asked for, and maybe I refer to you, Chief Operations Officer McCarthy, in regards to the status of the vans and the level of equipment, level of performance of those vans. Do you have, I'm sure you do a report or have some insight on the vans and the inspections and so forth. So I mean, based on what I've seen from the safety team in the past, they've always had something that you could share with us. And I think that there's some confidence that needs to be reinstated as a result of what I'm hearing about the vans. And is there a way that your team can give us an insight on the inspections and if they are up to par or not? Because I would hate for the people to walk away and think that vans are not kept up and they have things that are broken or need to be updated.
Right. Yeah, so we certainly give a report at the next committee outlining, preventative maintenance processes and inspections and so forth. But just to your immediate question, as you know, a couple of months ago, we got approval to order 14 new vans. So that's positive news. But there's no denying that, we are struggling with the van fleet. The FTA designates the useful life of a van at 5 years or 150,000 miles. As of right now, half of our fleet has exceeded that metric. So we are struggling. I can't say with confidence that they are safe and they are being maintained, but from a reliability standpoint, I think the numbers will show that we are struggling. So it's more capital improvements, it's more decommissioning older vans, bringing in newer vans, but that is revenue dependent, like everything that we do here. But we do have a fleet plan, we do follow it, again, provided the funds are available. But I can certainly make the maintenance team available to this committee to give a little bit more of an in-depth look at the maintenance practices and what we do to make sure the vans stay suitable for moving our customers.
Yeah, because I ride a van all day, every day. So I'm not just saying to be saying it. Hey, you can look at the numbers. You can't. It's good to look at the numbers, but you need to go to the office and look at your van yourself. So go off what they tell you. You need to go look for yourself. These vans are not supposed to be on the road because you got AC leaking, you got the computer down, you got the lift not working. The whole van sitting down on the first trip of the day. These maintenance men are not doing what they're supposed to do. No, and I'm just letting you know, as the chair, I'm gonna be on them about that because my life is dangerous as well. And my last thing I want to say for these drivers, we get a lot of young drivers, that don't care about how they look in the uniform. Back in the day, we get to have people caring about their uniform, iron, polished shoes. I mean, they look good. Now you got people coming to pick you up with their shirt hanging out the back. The shirt not iron. And when they bend down, you can see the crack. And nobody wants to see that. Thank you.
I just want one more comment in regards to the prototype of the vans that are coming in. Is there an opportunity to see or understand what type of vans? Are they the same? Or I think that Chairman Jenkins mentioned something that a van was similar to another area. Is there an opportunity at some point to see the prototype of the new vans that are coming in?
Yes, my understanding is that the specifications for the vans are statewide, so that it's not, HART doesn't put out a specification for their own individual van, that it's, so Pinellas and other places we buy essentially from the same. But there are certainly, design reviews, I would hope, every so many years that dictate, improvements and enhancements for disabled folks that are being implemented as part of that design. But we can certainly get more information relative to that.
I think that would be good to just align on what is happening for the state of Florida.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This is Catherine. I just wanted to go back to Mr. Marshall's question. Just a quick comment I wanted to make, that there are unseen disabilities. So we just want to keep that in mind for folks that sit in those areas. Thank you.
All right, is there any questions about my comment? Nope. All right. Let's see, let me next.
Yes, we have Mr. Dwayne Brown.
Oh, Mr. Wayne Brown. Mr. Wayne Brown, is he in the building today?
Yes, he is.
There he is. My buddy is in the building.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dwayne Brown. I'm the Basic Transit Infrastructure Program Manager, and I will be going over our updates over the last quarter. Okay, all right. So right now we have just a brief overview. We have 4 projects that are in design, 1 project that is in permitting. We have 2 projects that are in pre-construction right now, and then so that's the projects that we have going currently. The projects that we have in pre-construction are at 21st Avenue and 40th Street. We're going to be upgrading that bus stop. We're going to be bringing that up to ADA. We're going to be adding in. We're going to be raising that pad and adding a shelter to it. The stop at 21st and 43rd, that's in front of our 21st facility. We're going to be doing a bus bay to bring the buses off the road. The buses kind of sit there during the day, and it's a 2-lane road there. So staff and drivers, we got together with them to make sure that we can get the buses off the road there so that they don't block that road during the daytime, and we can get the traffic moving there. We have a lot of issues with people just driving around the buses at that location. So we're going to upgrade that one. We have Memorial and George Highway. We're doing complimentary bus stops there. We're going to be upgrading those. And that's in permitting currently. We have 4 bus stops so we have a bus stop at Hillsborough and 43rd. We got a easement from the county, from Hillsborough Public Schools, in order to place a bus stop there and put a shelter in there. We have 4 bus stops on Main Street, 2 complimentary bus stops at Main and Willow, and 2 complimentary bus stops at Rome, Main Street and Rome, and we're going to be doing shelters at those bus stops as well. And then we have a bus stop, 2 bus stops off of Davis Road, out near the so it's out near Harney, where the the Amazon facility is, right down the road from the Amazon facility down there. We're going to be upgrading those bus stops out there as well. Currently, for our shelter program, We have a total of 87 shelters that we have purchased. Currently, we have about 70 that are installed, so I have about 17 that are in stock right now that I'm going to be placing out. I have, right now, on my schedule, I have 8 that are going to be installed here probably within the next few weeks. And and then I just ordered 60 new shelters, and they should be in around the first of the year. It takes a little bit to get the manufacturers, about 20 weeks on manufacturing to get everything in. So we're looking to get those in around the first of the year. Any questions?
Any questions? I have one. Ms. Brown, do you also take care of the trolley station as well?
Say that one more time. No, I do not do streetcar stations.
Okay, because there is a sidewalk that needs to be repaired at station number 3. Somebody's gonna fall because the sidewalk has a lift. If you're not looking, you're gonna trip and fall.
Okay.
That's the only sidewalk that you can get on to get to the station.
Okay.
It's hard for me, and I'm in a wheelchair, so I had to slow down and get over the hump. Cause I get the hump hard, I'm gonna go flying out the gym.
So refresh my memory. Station number 3 is that over by the aquarium?
That is over right here in Ybor City.
Next one past Central. Okay. Then I will go out there and I'll take a look at the sidewalk and then see what we can do to address that.
It's right there on 15.
Okay. All right. I got you. I'll go out and take a look at it.
Look at that.
You're welcome.
It ain't any more questions, Ms. Brown. You know, thank you, Ms. Brown.
All right.
Now, this man, you know.
Thank you, Chair Catherine Sanchez here, Manager of Customer Service for HART. And I have the HART Plus and the Customer Choice Voucher Program updates. Turn my thing. So I will start with HART Plus for the month of June. We had 12,721 trips with a pickup on-time performance of 90%. And for our appointment, which is our drop-off on-time performance, is 99%. And for July, we had 11,591 trips with a pickup on-time performance of 90% and appointment drop-off on-time performance of 98.5%. All right, and now for Yellow Cab trips. For the month of June, they performed 7,779 trips with a 99% on-time performance. And for July, 8,752 trips with a 92% on-time performance. Does the committee have any questions? And just as a reminder, please raise your hand and be recognized. Thank you.
No?
I do, I'm sorry. This is Diane Luce.
Oh, go ahead.
Catherine, does the data sources that you have for that information, does that also capture ride times? And would it be possible in the future to have information on just an average ride time?
Yes, thank you. And you mean for HART Plus specifically?
Well, both, but
both. Okay.
HART Plus if possible. Yeah.
Okay, we do have a lot of stats, and we're very excited. We actually have our operations analyst doing a bunch of good numbers for us. So that is something that we are looking at closely. It's just for the committee, we give just the ridership and the on-time performance, but we can definitely get that information as well.
Yeah, Ms. Dickey, what is that program that goes around downtown? What was that?
What was it?
The program that where you call in and get a ride right there?
You're talking about the one in downtown, that's Dash.
Okay. Like the downtown one, that's what we used to have?
If we could use our mics, it would be extremely helpful for the audience and for those online. Thank you.
Arizona was asking about the DASH program, and I was sharing that it's not affiliated with HART.
Thank you. All right, and the follow-up report, committee.
Thank you, Chair. That's me again.
You
Catherine
are.
here. Yes, yes. So I'll give, we don't have any follow-ups on, from the last meeting. I just wanted to give just an update on the two previous questions. One is, we're still excited to have our travel trainer, Ernie. He's been doing amazing, started since March. Has been able to train all the St. Joseph Reach program students. He even was featured on the Tampa Bay Times. And our Councilman Luis Vieira even invited us to go meet him, so we're very excited there. And Mr. Chair, I wanted to congratulate you on that heartwarming video with your mom. I mean, it really touched my heart. That was really nice. I shared it, and I'm curious. You weren't here last time, so with the bus stop, did we do good with the lighting?
You did.
Awesome. All right, thank you. That's it.
Right now we have, Mr. Dan McGowan, did you say?
Sean McCarthy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just have one item for the committee's attention. On July 16th, 2024, HART held a virtual call with representatives from Yellow Cab and Uber, as well as the Chair of the HART Board of Directors, Luis Vieira, and committee member Guizdala, to address serious complaints regarding the refusal of Uber drivers to accommodate customers with service animals. During the meeting, Uber and Yellow Cab expressed their commitment to follow the law in this regard and to follow up with training for their operators to make sure that they were in compliance. On August 5th, 2024, on behalf of the HART Board of Directors Chair Luis Vieira penned a letter to Chris Margaranis from Transit Partnership /Uber, urging Uber to reinforce its commitment to accessibility and non-discrimination by implementing rigorous training programs for drivers on the rights of individuals with disabilities, including those accompanied by service animals. Drivers must be made aware of their legal obligations under the ADA and be held accountable for any instances of discrimination against passengers with disabilities. HART staff will continue to meet with Yellow Cab and Uber and work with the community to monitor this important issue for compliance.
Any questions?
Thank you for that. That's wonderful news. Really appreciative of the ability to actually have some direct communication. Has there been an established way for our community members to report their concerns and complaints in regards to Uber? Who should they be contacting when these situations are happening? Is there a tracking system?
Thank you, Ms. Raquel. Yes, both. We urge that you can call customer service or HART Plus. We will go ahead and log those concerns, but we also urge you to call the management at Yellow Cab. That way we have that backup. And I always follow up with them, and we do weekly meetings. Thank you.
And the management of Yellow Cab is?
Brendan, I think he just stepped out, but they were here, him and Jennifer.
This is Diane Luce. There's also a phone number with Uber where you can call and report service animal denials or safety incidences. Yeah. If anybody wants that, we can provide that.
And for the record, there were 2 denials last week. So it's still happening.
Is there any more?
What's that? Yeah, 2 that I know of, so. And neither of them involved me.
Is there any more questions? Comment? No, thank you, Mr. McGowan.
Yes, sir.
That's it again?
Yeah, I think I'm next. Me again, Catherine. Yes, so for the next meeting, contained in your packet is the proposed fiscal year 2025. Can you believe we're already there? Our meeting schedule, the time will remain the same at 1:30 p.m. And concluding at 3 p.m. The dates proposed will be the 3rd Thursday of the month on a quarterly basis. These specific dates will be November 21st, 2024, February 20th, 2025, May 15th, 2025, and August 21st, 2025. Are there any questions or proposal schedules?
Hearing none?
Oh, yes, November 21st. Okay. I had it wrong on my end. November 21st? Yes.
Is it? Anybody else? No change, all right.
We're good.
Yeah, thank you. Committee, next meeting will be November 21st, starting at 1:30, and at 3. We are now at the round table discussion. Do we have any round table discussion? Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chair. I would like to revisit our community member's concern where he had shared that due to other individuals being unable or unwilling to leave the wheelchair seating area that he was unable to board. I would like to kind of just further brainstorm. I certainly understand, and please know, this is not my intent for the drivers. I'm not trying to say that the driver should force anybody to leave their seats. I'm not saying that. But is there anything that we could possibly proactively do so that that seating area, because there is no other options for a person with a mobility device who uses a wheelchair to sit in a different location? Is there an option to possibly raise those seats and have them raised so that passengers who are not seated in a wheelchair or mobility device actually choose other locations to sit in, and then only keep them raised so that it really is no longer an option for people to sit in? Or is there an option to do a callback for a service to come and pick up the individual? My greatest concern is that what we're expecting for a person who has mobility equipment to continue to wait at a bus stop that they were there on time for,
Right.
and not allowed to board the bus. Again, somebody might be legitimately sitting there, and I don't want the driver to force anybody out, but I'm trying to brainstorm possible options to make sure that that area can be kept open for those who do need the seating area.
If I may say, back in the day, that I know that when there was a person that did not want to get up out of the seat, and that bus was to come for an hour, they was in a van to come pick it. They was in a van to come pick it up. I don't know if that still available. I'll have to, if that's still, and that,
Well, as we've been talking about, given the scarcity of HART Plus vans during the day, I'm not sure, speaking now, what the availability would be to just do it, kind of instinctively. But provided there's equipment available or equipment in the area, I think that's something that we could definitely consider.
because I also remember that they used to have the supervisors on the vans. They had their own vans, where they had lifts on the van.
Right.
But there's no more available, right?
Right.
We may have to go back to that. Is there any more? You good?
That was my only open discussion. I'd like to receive some information about other possible options to resolve the concern.
Okay, yeah, run down to you. You good? Ma'am?
Okay, thank you.
I do. This is Diane Luce. I just wanted to ask a clarification on the same topic with Mr. Marshall, correct? Your comments. Did I hear in your comments that you, did you say that the driver asked or told you that you would have to ask that person to move, or has that been placed on you to do that?
that has happened, I think 2 times.
Yeah.
And them 14 routes, and I believe it was, the other one was the 34. Yes, so I have been asked by a driver to say, well, you gotta ask them if they want to move.
Is that,
But I don't work.
is that appropriate?
No, that's not appropriate. The driver should be doing that.
Okay. So thank you. Okay.
And he said the 14 buses, they use a little mini buses with the lippers on the same side. And when I used to ride, it was hard to get a wheelchair on that bus anyway. So they might want to change to a bigger bus.
And then I also wanted to, I guess, address I didn't catch her name, I'm sorry, but the first individual who gave public comment and her concerns about the Heart Plus service area changing as a result of the Flex Bus area changing. And then her understanding that she didn't have access to go visit her parents. The system, the coordinated system of transportation here is challenging to understand. I agree with the comments that were made in response to what I said earlier about the partnership between HART and Sunshine Line. I work with individuals who are blind and who are new to our agency, and we're regularly getting people signed up for the appropriate service based on where they live. I still personally have questions sometimes, like what Mr. Jenkins raised, about, well, what if you live in the Heart Plus service area, but you need to get somewhere where they don't transport to, even if it's just once or twice. You know, do you also need to sign up for Sunshine Line, you know, to be able to do that? Those kinds of questions come up regularly for me with the clients that I serve. Another concern that I have is that sometimes, we just had a new independent living class start this week, so I've been working with a small group of individuals to get their transportation individual needs addressed. And I've heard more than once sometimes when someone does outside of the Heart Plus service area becomes aware of Sunshine Line, and they'll call and they'll do the screening like they're supposed to, but they'll be told that they don't qualify for the service. Now, these are people who are visually impaired, but they're being told they don't qualify based on financials. So what I will walk them through or help them through the process of applying for Heart Plus, getting that approval first, and then applying for Sunshine Line. I mentioned this just to say that it can be really challenging for someone to make sense of how the coordinated system works. I've been working for Lighthouse now about 1.5 years. I think I've finally gotten it down, but I have questions. But it's taken that long, and I'm someone with experience, not as a rider, but as someone, you know, experienced with working with individuals who ride and serving on committees such as this. So I'm just wondering if, because I'm a teacher, I always come from the point of what can we do to educate. We have these beautiful inclusion guides for certain populations. I'm wondering if Heart Plus and Sunshine Line could, and Yellow Cab for that matter, because questions come up about that too, and Uber, like how it all intersects. Could we create a guide or some type of educational material or access to something online that would be educational, that would kind of lay it all out in an organized and understandable way for individuals, so that if someone is new coming to this community, that they know how the coordinated transportation system works. They understand, what they're eligible for and what processes to go through. And I didn't even get into the qualifying for vouchers or not. There's a lot of questions around that too that come up. But can we create some educational material? Can the groups work together to do that?
I think we should be able to do that. We get with McCarthy.
McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah.
And
Like,
and
if
I'm happy to help with that too. I'd honestly, after this new class started, and we have several new ones that start each year, I thought, I'm gonna create some materials just for our internal purposes, but then I realized like it really needs to be something, beyond just what we do inside Lighthouse.
Chair, I just want to alert you that it is now 10:50 and the meeting is scheduled to end at 3 PM. Thank you.
But the problem is sometimes closing F4. That's why we use yellow cab. But that's a good idea. We ought to get a guy and put a guy together. That's a good idea. Mr. Mary, you have anything?
We haven't heard anything since February, since we brought it up about things like being able to cancel sooner than 2 hours, scheduling trips more than 7 days or 3 days out. Some of those paratransit policies we discussed that seem so easy because they're internal policies, they're not legal requirements. Where are we with those? We haven't heard anything on that.
Good afternoon, this is Catherine. Mr. Guezaland, I know I have those on our old business, but because of time, I do have some responses, and I know that leadership and you in the past have met, so we're more than happy to continue those discussions and go over a couple things, because I want to bring up stats. We have been looking into what are our no-show policies, what are our cancellations. I reached out to Rosa, and she gave me a little bit more of her information and how her services work. What would that look like expanding? And then, of course, we would have to look into what would be the financials and how would that change the service. So we'll be more than happy, because it's a longer discussion, to continue that if you would like.
Okay, definitely want to cover that because it's been 6 months now, so.
Thank you, Mary. Ms. Williams, good?
For me, I think that I appreciated the presentations today and the communication that's taken place. And I was just wondering, we probably need to understand what our goal and what we want to achieve, or what we want to come out of our committee meetings. So I'd like to at least have some conversation with you, Chairman, and some others about what we plan to accomplish when we are meeting and have our committee meetings, and what we see as our vision and goal. And that is probably piqued my curiosity when I read this in the back of the book that talked about the vision and so forth overall for HART. And would just like to know what we want to achieve in our sessions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, open.
Chair, if you could check with those online if they have anything for roundtable.
Thank you. Anything online? Anybody online? That's a question.
Thank you.
Who's that?
Thank you, Chair. Catherine here. I'll try to be brief because I know we're with time. I just want to welcome those that are their first time, Mr. McCarthy, Ms. Jada, Ms. Williams, because I know I was first, it was my first time last time. But also, I know that the committee is, always wants to have updates on training. So our COAST training, which is our continual operations and safety training, has already started, and we're still on the way with that, which is important because we do refreshers on how to properly secure the wheelchair, on what things can operators say or not do, or et cetera. So that's going very well. Also, for this month and next month, our street team will be out at our Marion Transit Center, University Area Transit Center, and other transfer centers, informing the public that we will, for next year, will be eliminating the paper fare card. So we want to be out there explaining that. We still will continue accepting cash, but then encouraging those to get the Flamingo fare card and also the app. So myself included, I'll see you out there if you're at MTC. And lastly, I sent pass these around, the ASD inclusion guides that we have. And I definitely want to thank those familiar faces that came in. You guys have invited us to some of your events, so thank you so much for coming. One of the goals that I would like for this committee is for networking, especially for those that are advocates for the community. We went to the Tampa Theater the other day and with some of you folks that are on there. So that's something wonderful that we can share all the resources that we have with each other and just better serve our community. So that's all I have. And those are also in PDF, so we can email them if you would like. Thank you.
All right. And there's a new business open, all good? Yeah, is there any more business? Any more new business? Okay. We'll be adjourned and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Easy for me, thank you, appreciate it.
How's your family? He's upset that school started. He's going back to